What's up, guys? Welcome back. If it's your first time on the channel, howdy. I'm JR. We're restoring my old 1978 K10. My wife bought it for me as a wedding present a couple years ago. It was just sitting in a yard for years and years. We got it running, played around with it a little bit, you know, in those couple years, but then it just kind of started sitting, and I decided it was time to tear it all the way down. So on the last episode, well, let me just catch you up to where we're at. We got a frame that's been redone, completely stripped down, cleaned. It had a few repairs that needed to be made. We made the repairs, and on the last episode, we took the axles out, tore them apart, found some carnage in the front end, so that kind of halted the progress on that. I had purchased everything just to rebuild the front end and the rear end, as far as from the outsides of them, brakes, ball joints, bearings, etc. But we found some carnage in the front end, so now we're doing ring and pinions. But in the meantime, while I'm saving up some money for ring and pinions and a limited slip for the rear end, I'm gonna work on some other stuff just to keep the progress moving here. So this bumper was on the truck, and I'm gonna keep it. I've got a new winch for it. We're gonna get it picked up, put up on the sawhorses, start cleaning it up. It needs a little work. It's kind of funky. I'll show you more once I get it up. Alright, so I think the first order of business is going to be figuring out how to get this winch out of here. Let me show y'all what I mean. They added this angle iron to the back. This is an old Ramsey worm drive, but if I was to try and just pull it out, looks like this gearbox is going to contact this angle iron. So what I may need to do is cut that angle iron off first. I think that might be all it's going to take, because over here looks like it maybe was welded at one point, but there's nothing holding this side to the bumper. Alright, now we can see what we're working with. Definitely gonna have to cut this fair lead off. Let's run around the back, see what we're looking like. This plate needs to be straightened out. The mounts just need a little cleaning up, looks like. I'll make sure they're welded in good. Looks like they are down here. Little lizard. If I need to add in some metal in here to make it all look good, that's what I'll do. We'll see how that worn mounts. I'm pretty certain it's just going to be 4 bolts like a standard winch mount. So we'll see how that mounts and figure it out. So here's the winch we got. Shout out to my groomsmen, they got me this for a wedding present. It can mount either vertical or horizontal. I prefer vertical, where the worn cap, the cap of the winch would be up here. As we can see, there's no holes in the bottom. 3 of the holes are here if we wanted to mount it horizontal, but like I said, I'm not a huge fan of that. I think what I'm going to do is just get the pattern, drill my holes down here, mount it vertical like I want, cut all this off, clean. I'm gonna have to add in some metal back in here, weld all these extra holes up, clean it up, make it look good. That's what we're gonna work on. I gotta go run and get a haircut, and I need to get a new wire cup so we can clean this thing up. So let me do that real quick, and when I get back, we'll cut this fair lead off, clean this whole thing up, get rid of these lights, and yeah, we'll be able to lay out our pattern for our winch, straighten this piece of metal first, then get our winch set in here. Then we can figure out how we want to clean this bumper up. It's got some blemishes that I want to clean up, make it look pretty, and then we'll prime and paint it once we get done with all that. Probably not today, but whenever we get to that point. So let me go run. I'll be back in just a minute. All right, got that fresh cut. Now I'm gonna cut this off, and then we'll clean this baby up. Alright, so slight issue on the back side with this new winch. I'll have to add more plate from here to here. If you can see, one of the mounting points is beyond the original plate, but I think she's gonna look good in there. Alright, got her welded in a little bit. Got my holes marked. Let me drill them out. Alright, step them out to 3/8. I'm gonna go a step bigger first. That ought to have us there. Winch fits good. Now I've got to fill all of these other, hold on. So now I've got to fill all of these other holes. Give me some plate, fill this giant hole back in. I want to fill these where those fog lights were mounted. So let me start filling all these holes first. Alright guys, we're back. Camera battery died on me the other day. Sorry about that. I was just welding though. You didn't miss anything. So I finished getting these holes welded up. I'm going to go in with the grinder this morning, clean them up. If I need to add some more weld, add some more weld. And then I need to find a piece of plate. I don't know if I have anything this thick. I may have to stack 2 pieces of plate. I'm not sure. But need to fill this in and then leave us a hole for our fair lead. I accidentally welded in my fair lead hole on the back side. I'm gonna drill it back out though. We're gonna need that to mount our new fair lead. So let me clean this up. Alright guys, I didn't have no metal this thick. I got something a little thicker, but I don't know. I don't have this exact size. So I may have to cut 2 of these, or heck, I might just do one outside layer and just call it good. Just clean it up in here and make it look good. Nobody will know looking from the outside. And honestly, this is plenty strong enough. This is 1/4 inch plate, so all you're doing is holding a fair lead. So let me cut this out. It's looking pretty good, guys. I think the next thing I'll do is these fair lead holes. I'm gonna grab the fair lead out of this winch box and we'll figure out what we need. There we go. Guess I'll drill this one back out first. Then I can put a bolt in it, and then I can get this one leveled up about where I think it needs to be, and then I can mark it. Probably be the best thing to do. Alright, got it drilled out. I'm just going to give it the old eyeball. I don't think it really matters too much. Okay. Do the old test fit. Fingers crossed. Boom, baby. Just gotta lift it up when we tighten it. It's sitting a little low if you don't. But other than that, it looks pretty decent. Sweet. Alright, well, the fair lead's done. Winch mount's done. I think the only other thing I might do is add some plate. I'm gonna show y'all here in a sec. Let me set this down. Alright, got it drilled out. So I think I want to add some plate to like the back of this. It's not very thick metal on the top. The actual bumper frame is solid as hell. It's just, I think I want to add a little more rigidity to the top. So I might cut me some strips of this 1/4 inch plate and just stitch weld them on the bottom. Add a little rigidity, and it'll also allow me to straighten up some of these dings it's got already. Like this. It's all wavy. So anyway, let me get to work on that. Alright guys, I'm pretty satisfied with that. This is a lot more sturdy now with that little piece of plate in there. It ain't perfect. Like I said, we ain't building no show truck. Something I can drive and actually use. So let me wipe this thing down. I hosed it off a second ago with the air. Blew it off. Let me wipe it down with some wax and grease remover, and then we'll throw some excuse me. We'll throw some primer on it. So guys, we're back. I ended up maybe made a mistake, I don't know, last night. I put some glazing putty on this bumper because it had some, you know, just pinholes and weld holes and stuff like that. And I was like, man, I'd like it to look pretty slick. So probably created a lot more work for myself because now I'm going to be OCD about it. But there you see it. I started sanding a little bit just to check it out. I'm about to get the DA and just hit it real quick. Just try and knock down the highs, and yeah, we'll go from there. So since we're doing a bunch of priming and painting today, I figured in between I'm going to work on vent windows. I've already taken apart the passenger side. It was, the actual glass frame was rotten on it. So I got a new frame for the passenger side. Got the new rubber to mount it inside this frame. Got some stuff from USA 1. This thing looks pretty good. I got all my new gaskets and everything. We may put some fresh, little coat of primer, a little coat of paint on the outside of this, just black, kind of keep it original looking. But yeah, I've never done this. So I'll probably just put the camera in like a fast forward mode, and if something cool happens, I'll stop and tell you all about it. But I've never done this, so I'm sure it's going to be a big learning curve. Complete shot in the dark here, guys. I don't know if that's right or not. This new frame I bought doesn't seem to be like the perfect shape. I bought it for the 73 to 80. Maybe these are maybe my doors are off of a newer truck and it's the later style vent window. I don't know. But regardless, I got it on here. I actually doubled up on that tape that you're supposed to use. I accidentally chipped a little bit of my glass out here too. I think we're just going to let it ride. You can kind of see it right there. So, got some parts primed. And we'll get some black paint on them here in a minute, and then we'll start reassembling this thing with the new vent window seals. I'm gonna take a break from the vent windows for a second. I did make some progress. I got gasket on one of them. Got some fresh paint. So now, I don't know. I gotta figure out what's next. I'm not 100% sure. But in the meantime, I'm gonna lay some paint down on that bumper. Alright guys, I figured out the vent window deal. I have somebody, I guess at some point, has swapped on newer vent windows, so I've got to return some of that stuff, and I've got the newer stuff already ordered coming. So I'll have to jump back on the vent windows maybe in the next video or so, whenever I get it. But for now, got some parts hanging up, primed, and I'm fixing to wipe this bumper down and give it its second coat of paint so that we can wrap up that project. Guys, this bumper turned out unit. It is nice. I bet we got, I don't know, 60 bucks tied up in saving this whole thing. Y'all gotta check it out. Super dang nice. I love it. That thing's gonna look so nice on the front of that truck. But anyway, that's all I got time for this video. I'm not sure what we're gonna do in the next video. We'll see. Maybe I'll get some parts to rebuild transfer case or axles. Who knows? I'll start coming up with something though. We'll get something going, keep the ball rolling here. So I'll see y'all on the next one, man. Thank y'all for always watching and liking and subscribing. It means a lot. So, see y'all.